factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's going on? 6 o'clock. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Big day today. If you guys haven't heard, General Manager of the Titans, Ran Carthon, would join the program at 8:20 today. But just because they didn't make late-night moves doesn't mean there wasn't any action last night. The Chargers, in an effort to make a little more cap space, trade Keenan Allen to the Chicago Bears for a fourth-round pick. The Chargers approached Keenan Allen about a pay cut, and he said no way. Last season, Keenan Allen caught 108 balls for 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. The second offseason in a row, the Bears have acquired a former Pro Bowl wide receiver ahead of the NFL draft. The Bears still hold the number 1 and number 9 picks in the NFL draft. And the wide receiver market has been working slowly, and it worked in the Chiefs' favor as they landed former first-round pick Hollywood Brown to a one-year deal worth $11 million. The Chiefs released MVS earlier in the offseason to save around $12 million and then replace him with someone who is younger for less money. Classic Andy Reid. And the SEC tournament, Florida over Georgia 85-80. Texas A&M take down Ole Miss 80-71. South Carolina beats Arkansas 80-66. And Mississippi State on to the next round over LSU 70-60. Who does Mississippi State play? It's first game of the day. Number 4 Tennessee and Mississippi State get started at noon from Bridgestone Arena. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Friday morning and a brand new Friday begins with brand new Friday energy. On our mode, Kayla and Will. RKW is brewed up by 8th and Roast. We've got our 8th and Roast pot of coffee brewing, and we have got a big 4 hours of talk, of discussion, of interviews coming up to finish off this week. Brent Hubbs of VolQuest at 7:20. Titans General Manager Ran Carthon at 8:20. Grant Ramey talks Tennessee, Mississippi State, and SEC tournament hoops with us at 9:20. And our us is Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh, our producer. I'm Will Bowling It is Friday, March the 15th, and we encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, to act like it.
Come on, good people.
All the workers that
Don't let that
will
rain slow you down today. Well,
But
technically,
just slow down.
Yeah, slow down. Don't let
I
it
get what
slow
you're
down your
saying.
tempo and attitude
Yes.
today, all right?
Yes, your mood.
Yeah, mood, man.
615-737-1045. How are we doing, everyone? Good morning.
Man,
Good.
I think I'm good today. I think I'm good. Got a busy day today. Well, no, I ain't going to say busy day. Just got an eventful day today.
It's been an eventful week with free agency. And then, you got the press conferences that are popping up. You got the SEC tournament that's popping up. We got high school basketball this weekend. Your Ripley
The high school Tigers, baby.
kiddos, they are in the semis tonight.
No, the championship tonight.
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, because
thought
I
it was
would
tomorrow.
cover them if they make it to the championship tonight.
Come on.
So
Come
I'm
on,
crossing my
RHS.
fingers for y'all.
RHS, man. What's so cool about that situation too? A girl that I went to high school with, she was a year ahead of me. She's now the principal at my old high school. So seeing people I went to
No
high school with,
kidding.
yeah, real good friends with. With the principal, Kamisha Shaw, man. I'm super excited for her.
pretty
Her daughters
cool.
are actually, they're double dutying this week, looking at colleges in the mid-state area and stuff like that, and also looking at winning the state championship for the first time in
Yeah.
basketball.
Yep.
I do have like thoughts of like, man, they must be. I hadn't seen them yet. I was supposed to go yesterday and got a crazy evening yesterday. But like everybody think they got a good team until some young guys come behind you and like they're better. Like, yeah, they smacked somebody yesterday by 20 points, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to my RHS Tigers, man. Ripley High School Tigers.
And you got to play a very good team.
Who
in
they got?
Alcoa,
Hey.
who is the
Alcoa,
defending
yeah.
state champion with
Tornadoes.
future Penn State point guard Javon Carter.
Really?
He's a stud muffin. I
Is he?
covered him
Oh, my
last year
goodness.
in that.
Is-
Well, I mean, on the floor.
He's
not
pretty
I'm-
tough.
yeah.
I know what you mean.
know what I'm
that's
saying.
that's not what I'm saying. It's just
Stud
I've
muffin
heard
in basketball.
someone say stud muffin in that context.
So cutie. You feel me? Why is Alcoa good at everything?
They're
No.
so good.
I used to be
I
the voice
know.
of their football team in college.
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, you probably never
One
had a
of the
losing
voices.
record, right?
They won state both years. I called there.
See what I'm saying?
I think they have 7 straight state titles in football.
It's
Wow.
Open
ridiculous.
enrollment is the answer, and a Hall of Fame head coach.
Oh, is
There you
that
go.
what it is?
They're a city school.
Boom.
Maryville and Alcoa are both city schools.
Yeah.
Jaw was also Mr. Basketball for
He got it
2A.
also?
Mhm.
Okay. They're 2A?
2A.
I didn't realize that. So my school's gone down in classification.
They
I-
added a class in basketball as well.
They did also?
Yeah, there's 4 classes.
So
in
many
public school basketball.
Public school. Okay.
Shout out Independence. Good luck tonight.
They play tonight too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
All
to
right.
see them in the state title.
Awesome, man. I do like those state championship minutes that come through. I think it's Luke who's been doing them as of late too on the station. The
And Will's
updates.
done some radio games
Yeah,
too.
super cool, man. Shout out to the young kids out there. They got their March Madness going on
Yeah.
too.
So the full slate of semifinal basketball, we'll start there. Cookeville, Bartlett, Rossview, Independence. In 1A, Chattanooga Prep and Santa Fe against Gordonsville and then Frank Hughes. 2A, Whites Creek and Douglas, Alcoa and Ripley. And then Creekwood, Ridgeway, and Upperman, Fulton. If you think you're busy this week, think
Yeah.
of the TSSAA people who are finishing off their 3rd straight week of state tournament games. After tomorrow, the TSSAA folks who have worked every day of that will have seen 168 basketball games in 3 weeks.
God, oh.
Hey, props to them. They do a great job over there. So that is a lot of work.
Because that's a lot of classifications, and you have 8
Yeah.
games a day for both of the Division II tournaments. And I believe it was 6 games a day for D2 in Cookeville 2 weeks ago.
Man, that's
My
getting to it.
goodness.
Crazy.
Yeah, that is getting to it.
It's absolutely crazy. I was talking to some of them, and a lot of them listen to us as well. It's cool.
awesome.
Every time I do a TSSAA event of any kind, it's like, oh, I love listening to you guys in the morning.
Well, thanks,
God,
right?
you know ball. Thank you.
We get that. I had somebody last night at a baseball game. RJ them had their first game last night. Man, how your week been? Busy. That's all I can say. Is
One
busy, man. We've been on it. This has been probably one of the more eventful free agency weeks I think I've ever been a part of while on this side of the sports world. And I'm sure, I don't know about you guys, but it's been pretty eventful for me for sure.
It has been. And I don't know if you guys were woken up, but I was woken up twice by thunder last night that literally shook me out of my bed almost.
It was like
It
that?
was that loud. Yeah, Red went crazy, my dog, because, you know, weather sometimes affects that. But, yeah, I don't know what it was with the storms in the Bellevue area, but holy smokes.
There's a lot coming on. I saw southern Middle Tennessee had a tornado warning and stuff like that. So
keep careful.
Yeah, definitely, man. And Ohio, Indiana, and Arkansas had a lot going on this last night too. So hopefully everybody that got family in those areas are doing all right. Definitely.
615-737-1045. We will talk a lot of hoops, talk a lot of free agency this morning. But, of course, Ran Carthon joins us at 8:20. And if you are in the early morning crew and cannot make it all the way to the end of the show or middle of the show for that interview, go ahead and subscribe to the Ramon, Kayla, and Will podcast because we will immediately post that interview as soon as we are done talking with Ran. And it will be up around 8:45 to 9 o'clock, turned around via podcast. Looking forward to talking with him.
Yeah.
Me too, man. Very interesting. Big week for this Tennessee Titans team. His second time around the sun as far as signing free agents and stuff like that. And the first complete one, I guess, that he's having with Brian Callahan. He said he's going to come in and have a good conversation with us. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll do it as good as we possibly can. I still want to know how he pulled off the Calvin Ridley thing. Maybe we'll get an answer on that one.
And it looks like that will be made official a little later today, and it looks like we'll be talking to him shortly.
Calvin
after
Ridley?
the show.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
We'll see if that is official when we talk to Ran.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if it will be, and I don't know if we can ask him about
I know. I was going to say, can you make it official?
There's a decent chance we won't be able to talk to Ran about that. But
Ask him anyway. Nah,
there you go.
I know. Mine kind of slipped when I asked
Like,
Pollard
whatever.
yesterday. I was like, God damn. Probably can't say anything.
Will said, okay, yeah, I'm going to be professional. I promise I'll be professional.
You don't have to be.
615-737-1045 our number. What do you want to hear from Ran Carthon today? At Ramon, Kayla, Will, you can chime in there on Twitter, 615-737-1045. What would you ask Ran Carthon about his offseason plans for the Tennessee Titans? You can also join the discussion in the F&M Bank chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch.
Push, please.
I even saw Robert Walsh lowering his microphone.
Nah, just letting him have it. You know how goofy you look running over there to say Twitch, please? You're a grown-ass man, Ramon.
Goodness.
Oh, my
Oh, here we go.
I'm
loving this.
Can't believe you would run over there to say Twitch,
I
please.
bet. Okay, I see what type of day it is with Bert. All right. You know
Y'all
all
have been
it
at
is?
it all week, and I love it.
Oh, you know all it is. It's two former Ravens are now on the other side, and he's a little salty behind it. I don't even know if he's salty because he's like, whatever. She belonged to the streets anyway. See, I knew it. I absolutely knew it.
Appreciate everybody who came out and hung out with us yesterday in Hendersonville. Humble Hendersonville. I feel
Sounded
more
fun.
humbled today than I was yesterday because we had some good wings, good beer, and good conversation at Buffalo Wild Wings in Hendersonville yesterday.
We essentially did another show yesterday with the questions that we were asked.
Pretty much.
Just random people coming in and
yeah, I
talking.
just want to know the ins and outs of like what you thinking, how you thought about it. I had Justin Fields questions. We had draft pick questions. But with the job that we do, that comes with the territory. Not in mind because the conversation was good. People were like legitly concerned. And, want to be informed about what the Titans going to do. Will and I ain't in the front office, though. Or you either, Kayla,
like,
when
I'll
it
do
comes
my
down
best.
to giving the answers to that type of
Yeah.
stuff. It was some good stuff yesterday, man. Shout out to everybody at B-Dub that came through, though.
I heard JC came by. Joseph.
Joseph, yeah. Josiah.
Josiah.
came
Justice
through.
Schaefer. That's
Yeah.
right.
Justice, yeah, he came through yesterday too. Rhett Bryan came through
Rhett came,
yesterday.
yeah.
Made an ultimate sacrifice yesterday. Not the ultimate sacrifice, but he came to Hendersonville and went to Murfreesboro. Crazy.
That's a trek.
615-737-1045. Coming up, headlines in the NFL and what we learned from Titans free agent acquisitions who spoke to the media for the first time in Nashville yesterday. That's next as we begin RKW.
Let Ramon Foster for Secure Lawn, man. You want to know one of the best things about Secure Lawn? They have been here servicing Middle Tennessee for over 20 years. Another big thing is this. You don't have to worry about them selling to big companies, man. A lot of companies are coming into Middle Tennessee and buying up your mom and pop and your local lawn service companies, man. And with that, contract changes, quality changes, your tech that comes through and service your yard change. You never know if they may raise your bill. I promise you this, when it comes to Secure Lawn, you're gonna get a prime service. They're gonna make sure you're taken well care of, and there will be no changes in the way they treat you, treat your lawn, and how they go about business, man. If you have to or want to schedule anything to get your yard done as far as those pesky weeds, just seeding and all those types of things, they have an online chat to make it real easy for you to get an estimate in no matter of time, okay? And they just simply are the best at what they do. So whether you stand in Williamson County, Wilson County, or wherever, man, reach out to them at 615-893-8455 or go to securelawn.com.
Hey, it's Kayla Anderson for Wang Vision Institute, and they do everything in terms of your eye health at the best top level. From the front desk to the doctors, they will take care of you like family. They also know how to take care of your skin. They have introduced the Intense Pulse Light treatments. It's a non-invasive cosmetic procedure, highly effective. It addresses various skin concerns. Maybe you struggle with sun damage, age spots, redness, uneven skin tone. IPL treatments can be highly effective in helping to reduce the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, acne scarring, as well as rosacea. You can visit wangvisioninstitute.com today to learn more about how to schedule your free consultation and treatment today. Also, Wang Vision Institute offers free online vision seminars. So if you are interested in getting your eyes checked out and making sure that they are good for the future, you can go do that on Tuesdays at 6:45 p.m. All you have to do is RSVP. Go to wangvisioninstitute.com. Again, that's wangvisioninstitute.com.
RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will is brewed by 8th and Roast on 104.5 The Zone. 615-737-1045. What would you like to learn from Ran Carthon's interview with us this morning? Chime into the F and Big Chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, or send us a call on the phone lines and let us know. We've already got one comment saying you can go ahead and just announce the Jerome Baker signing if he wants to.
Wouldn't that be a thing if that happened on
That'd be fine.
Crazy. He can break it on here. Absolutely.
Late last night, the Chicago Bears made a huge free agency move. Sent a 4th-round pick to the Chargers in exchange for Keenan Allen. Are you surprised it only took a 4th-round pick to get the 31-year-old wide receiver?
I am, just a little bit. It's just on what he's capable of doing. I'm surprised by that also, and I'm not trying to point fingers at people, but this is also the consequences of the cap ain't real type of folks, okay? This is what happens when you're up against it and you try to make people take pay cuts and they know they worth. He's been the best thing to come out of Los Angeles, San Diego for a very long time. And you try to make this guy take a pay cut. He said no. 4th-round pick. They had no choice, essentially. Either pay him his full salary or take the 4th rounder. That's a fair deal for a guy that's 30-plus years old, too. Thing is, his production level is still super, super high when it comes down to what he's capable of. Chicago's stacking up, but my only thing is this. We've seen this happen before. We've seen Jacksonville try to stack up like this at times where you just try to put a bunch of bodies inside a room and try to make it work. They got a lot of talent. Figuring out that quarterback situation is going to be huge. But if Caleb Williams is the number 1 guy, and I've heard some very high things about what folks think about him. Like, generational has been the stuff that I've heard people in the NFL circle say about him and legitimately mean that. So he's going to have the weapons for a year or two.
Yeah, if that's what they decide to do, which it looks like that's what they're going to do, they're definitely getting him ready to have available weapons at his disposal because he's going to need them. This is a franchise that is trying to find its way back, trying to find its quarterback for the future, for the long term, because it definitely did not work out with Justin Fields, and they thought it would work out with him. So I think it's interesting because I go back to the conversation we had with Michael Lombardi this week, and he did say, that's maybe the last thing that you go and, pad out your offense with this is with your wide receivers for your quarterback. Once you know who your quarterback is and your belief is that is your quarterback, this is obviously a different type of situation because they're having to make a big decision here with, getting rid of Justin Fields and making sure Caleb has people when he comes in because he's going to be the starter. And that's a lot on a young man's plate to do something like that in a city like that. And the expectations are going to be high. But as it goes for Keenan Allen, 4th-round pick, I'm not surprised just because this is the NFL today. In terms of trades and picks that we're seeing, we're just not seeing those 2nd-round picks go anymore, right? And he's a 30-year-old wide receiver who has been productive. Over, 1,243 yards last year. He played in 13 games, so he's been really productive over the last several years. But you are getting to that point where I just don't think they want to give up in terms of value of picks as much. So that didn't surprise me that it was a 4th-rounder.
The depth chart at wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers. Quentin Johnston, Darius Davis, VFL Joshua Palmer, end of list. Those are your 3 starters at wide receiver.
Wow.
Jim Harbaugh wants to run the football. Jim Harbaugh wants to take the Chargers, it seems like, back to 1995 NFL football.
And you know who their offensive coordinator is?
Greg Roman,
who was with the 49ers and the Ravens on all those prolific rushing teams. Yep. So expect Blake Corum at number 6, I assume. So who knows?
I was just going to say, right?
At number 6, that's rich right there.
Going at 6.
If this is the hard reset they need to offload the cap, this is what you want to do. And I wonder where that comes into play as far as offensive line play. We talked about the Chargers and alt for a while, too. Or whoever they decide to pick. Like, they're going to have options. You just picked up another pick also. But Harbaugh, DNA of his is passing. But you got what some deem to be a world-class quarterback behind center, too. So they'll have options to move the ball down the field.
I would say they are a strong contender for a wide receiver with the number 5 overall pick.
Yeah.
615-737-1045 is our number. Let's go to Ryan in Lebanon first up. What's up, Ryan?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Bert, man, just because your rat birds got decorated don't mean you can.
Oh, we must have lost him. I'm not sure what happened there, Ryan. Are you there?
But I do got a.
Ryan, he cut you off,
Robert
man.
just kneecapped you.
Nobody heard a word you said, man.
I would say they are a strong contender.
Look, he got sabotaged on his own that time. I was away
goes
from the
Ryan.
microphone.
Technical difficulties this morning.
Call back.
Oh, it wasn't technical. Those are Bert-related difficulties this
Well,
morning.
he had his phone on then, too.
Well, he turned his radio on.
Or
is what
his
he did.
radio. I'm sorry. Yes.
Hey, it's Friday, and my dog is acting like
Look,
it back there.
I got him once, and then like you trip somebody, and then they trip again, and everybody thinks you tripped them. No.
Yeah. Well, you back there holding your hands up like you didn't do it, and you actually did it, Bert.
Well, you know that's the guilty party. I learned that from watching y'all. All the offensive linemen, as soon as they throw their hands up, you know they held.
Well, we didn't do
There
it.
you go
I didn't
blaming
do it.
us again, Bert. That's crazy.
I learned from watching you, okay? I learned from watching you.
Hey, you know what? No face, no case, man. Call back on us real quick, man. We'll get that question in. We'll make sure Bert's all right.
615-737-1045 if you want to call us back, right? Robert won't mute you this time.
And criticize Bert the
goodness.
moment you call back, okay?
Let's hear from Titans free agents yesterday in the meantime. Kayla, what do you feel like we learned about some new Titans yesterday?
First of all, I liked all the guys from first impression. And I know winning a press conference does not mean diddly. You got to win on what you're doing on the field. But with Tony Pollard, just first of all, his mom was there. That was the coolest thing. I was wondering who the woman was when we walked in, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a Titans, somebody in the front office.
Yeah.
And no, it was his mom, and we all figured that out. And she was as sweet as it could be, just smile on her face, seeing that her baby had come home to Tennessee. And you could tell, like, he's not a man of, like, many words, Tony Pollard, but I think he's really genuinely excited to be back in Tennessee. He said Nashville, the Tennessee Titans were his team growing up.
Yeah.
And I think he's just excited to be not a fresh start because he didn't really need like a reset button in his career, but this is going to be a different, part of his career. And now he gets to do something along Tajay Spears that I think is pretty special. I think he's excited for this new style of offense. And the one word that was used by every single player yesterday, and I'm not even exaggerating, they loved the energy in the building. You heard it from every player. There's just something in that building that is happening that when they walk in, from everybody they run into, they just say there's some sort of energy that they loved. So I thought that stood out with everybody. Lloyd Cushenberry, dude, I love this guy. I think he's going to be solid. Maybe not a man of many words, too, in terms of he doesn't lead by the vocal part, but he'll lead by what he does on the field. He was coached by Mike Munchak and now going to be coached by Bill Callahan. That's the reason he's here. Bill Callahan. I mean, he said it first and foremost, and why wouldn't you be? Kenneth Murray, I think it's a reset button for him. I think he'll do his best to become the best Kenneth Murray.
He laid out some stuff.
He really, and you know what? I thank him for that too, because I think he could have been a little bit defensive about it, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't. And then I'm just going to call him Cheeto or Chi. Chi.
Okay.
Chi or Cheeto.
Cheeto is what he told us.
Because,
And set up 30 chill.
Dude, by the time he pronounced his name, I already had tried to say it like 50 times, and I was like, I'm not going to get this right.
Cheeto Bay Awuje.
Yeah. Impressive. Impressive person who is going to make a difference in that cornerback's room. And hopefully that ACL is far behind, because I think he could do some really big things on the field. But overall, really impressed with those guys.
Good. Glad to hear that. It sounded good yesterday, too. It did. It really did, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, of course, on the field. But of course, Kenneth Murray, to me, I thought laid out like, I'm here to prove some stuff. And, of course, the idea of him just being a downhill guy, and I've said that's what I've seen. And his response to that was just, I'm here to get better in every facet. I want to be a first, second, third down back. And you look back at the tape last year when the Chargers came here, that joker was downhill. I was like, who the heck is that guy? He was out there talking trash and everything, man. Fascinating approach to the game, but that's what you want out of your middle linebackers, too. They are tone setters when they come down to especially the run game. And, of course, the way the Titans wanted to run the ball, That's what you got out of a guy like him.
Yeah, he had a sack against the Titans last year.
Yeah.
I did. I remember that sack and having to look him up. I was like, oh, this dude's a former first round. I had no idea about him much, but that's why he's here, and that's why he's trying to prove himself in the second wave. On the second team that he's with right now.
All right, Ryan in Lebanon is back with us on the phone lines. Go ahead, Ryan. We apologize.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. Hey, Bert, man, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it. Do got a question for Ran, though, man. With the addition of Calvin Ridley, are you still going to go to a playmaker in the draft? Would love to see Brock Bowers. I know we got to get some tackles, so basically, are we done in free agency? That's the question I'm asking Ran right now, because if it's yes, then we're going to go get tackle. If not, hey, man, let's go get Brock Bowers and continue to build this offense. You guys have a great Friday, and go Vols, baby. Big day today.
Go
Thank
Vols!
you, Ryan. Appreciate the call. I think it's a good question.
Yeah.
Obviously. And again, we are not positive whether or not the Calvin Ridley signing will be made public before we talk to Rand. So hopefully it is. Hopefully we can ask about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And by the way, Ryan, I love your question, but offensive linemen are playmakers too. Nah, I kid.
Get it in there. They make the plays happen.
See, we're the foundation pieces. I get it.
Exactly.
Valid question, though. A lot of people was asking that question that I've been around in public, too. So it's a fair question when it comes down to the expectation, like what else is left out there. I know Tyron Smith had that question come up yesterday as we was at B-Dub. Do you make a move like that, or he going to a more serious contender? And one of his last few years, I'm sure he's going to have in the league. He's an old man as far as NFL goes and stuff like that. And I'm sure if Dallas couldn't get him back or didn't want him back and he's an actual free agent, he going to ring chase.
Mm-hmm. I think they're still going to add somebody in the draft. Wide receiver, maybe if they see that Brock Bowers is their guy, wouldn't completely surprise me. I think they'll still go tackle first, but I do think they'll get another wide receiver that they can continue to put in the cupboard, and even, he could play this year if he's that caliber, because you've got a little bit more of the 30-year-old wide receivers now on the outside with Ridley and D-Hop. But I think there needs to be at least one more ad in free agency on defense. That's my personal opinion. Whether or not it will happen, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like they're probably going to add 3 or 4, honestly.
You'd hope.
Yeah.
They need inside linebacker. They have no defensive lineman, and they probably need another defensive back.
Definitely.
Got moves still to make. Let's hear from one of those defensive acquisitions, though, Cheeto Awuzie, who talked to the media yesterday and told us the number one reason why he's a Titan.
Relationship that you have with Brian in Cincinnati, even though he was on the other side of the ball?
Oh, man, a great relationship. We did a lot of great things together over there, obviously as a team. And, when you make it that far, we all become family, So, Coach Callahan, definitely has all of my respect. And seeing how, I would always ask him questions, on the side. Sometimes me, Jamar, T, and TB would be warming up on the ladder, and Coach Callahan would be standing right there. And sometimes, we'd have small conversations here and there. So a lot of respect, and, probably the number one reason, if not the biggest reason I'm here right now. So really appreciative of him.
As Titans DB, Cheeto Awuzie talking to the media yesterday. Ramon, how close were you with certain defensive assistants? Specifically, maybe on the defensive line, a position group you're going against every day in practice and training camp, more intensely, specifically in your NFL career?
Big time. Coach Dunbar, I'm talking about D-line coach in Pittsburgh, the legendary coach around the league and in college football too. Coach Keith Butler, another guy that was the defensive coordinator, big time, just trash talking conversation, asking how you doing because he don't directly coach you. That stuff does, man. I'm glad Cheeto Awuzie said that out loud because that communication factor is big when it comes down to team camaraderie and when it comes down to you getting to know I'm just not an item. I'm just not a number. Hey, and you have those conversations with the coaches on the opposite side because they somewhat let you know we need you too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or it's been times I've had conversations with those defensive coaches and it be, hey, we know you guys are working, man. Like we gonna get it together. And just having that transparency and those types of things. Joey Porter, of course, being a coach like that, Jerry O, linebacker coach, like you can name these guys off as far as like the communication and conversation that you have with them. And it is 2 separate teams inside the building. Offensive guys go to the O side, D go to the D side, and special teams just do their thing, okay? But when it all comes together, and that's that pause and practice period and stuff like that. That's when those coaches come over and just talk trash to you or just get to know you or talk other sports. Everybody wanted to talk golf or everybody wanted to talk, some side sport other than football in the time. So, yeah, I'm glad he says that because that matters to players when you get an opportunity to know what the coaches on the other side is doing.
Yeah, I think it means a lot because Brian Callahan has been talked about not only, as what he does offensively, but just the type of coach he is, the type of way he connects with not only his players directly on the offense, but like you said, he said that's a big reason why I'm here. So clearly he knows him, got to know him well enough, felt like he was the type of coach he wanted to play for because now it's his head coach. And I think that Cheeto is going to be a great addition. He did remind me of the way he came across in his presser of how Sean Murphy Bunting came across last year in his presser. Just a very well-composed, very smart, going to be great, I feel like, with the media. And hopefully his play on the field this year will match that because they need a cornerback who's going to be productive for them.
I was going to say, he can be like Sean Murphy Bunting off the field, but I hope he's not on the field with respect to Sean. They need a number one.
They do.
We'll see if he is the number one or if there's maybe a L'Jarius Sneed coming in the future.
Man, that'd be fascinating to have that happen.
Another interesting comment yesterday for the podium at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park from New Titan center Lloyd Cushenberry, who spoke about why he wanted to become a Titan.
Biggest factor of Bill Callahan. His resume speaks for itself. Coached a lot of great guys. Heard a lot of great things about him. So, I think it's a good opportunity for me to continue to grow my game and take that next step as a player.
And went on to say he feels like he's gotten a little bit better every year. And Kayla mentioned it. Going from being coached by Mike Munchak to Bill Callahan, you could do a heck of a lot worse in your NFL career.
That took my respect factor, him way, 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 way up on the realization he was coached under Munch, too. Like, how you get two Hall of Fame O-line coaches?
He's a stud, and when it comes to his availability, I mentioned this week, too. Besides that 1 year, I think it was 2022, that's the only games he's missed in his career with the Broncos. So the durability factor for him, I think he said it too. Like, I've learned more about my body, taking care of myself. Everything in terms of getting better every year, that's all a part of it. Like, he's a pro's pro. And this is going to be huge, I think, that you could have your center for years to come here.
615-737-1045 is our number. You can call in, tell us what you want to hear from Ran Carthon, who joins us at 8:20 this morning. But coming up next, we'll recap the Thursday at the SEC tournament. Set the stage for an awesome day of matchups at Bridgestone Arena next. Hey, it's Will Bowling here for my friends at Lee Company. Put Lee Company on your team and stay ahead of the game with home maintenance, repairs, and more. And it's important to stay ahead of Mother Nature here in Middle Tennessee. You never know when the weather is going to change. And look, the last 24 hours, the perfect example of that as you wake up with rain, with colder weather coming in this weekend. Well, for $12 a month, you could sign up for the Lee Company home maintenance plan and receive 4 visits every year by an experienced technician. That's 4 visits to your home with the Lee Company professionals. They're going to keep your air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and electrical systems in tip-top shape. Get the best players on your team today. Learn more at leecompany.com or give them a call at 615-567-1000. That's $12 a month. Sign up for the Lee Company home maintenance plan. Get 4 visits for the folks who have been trusted for 80 years here in Middle Tennessee. 615-567-1000. That's Lee Company, all you need. Hey, it's Will Bowling. Do you or someone close to you find it maddening to hear conversation when there's background noise? Maybe it's while dining at your favorite restaurant. You're in a crowded room. There's not a lot of space. There's a lot of conversation going on around you. You're having trouble understanding what the person across from you is saying. Well, if so, I want to introduce you to my friends at Brentwood Hearing Center, whether it's you or whether it's a relative you have, because let's be honest, we've all got them who might fit into this category. With 5 doctors of audiology, state-of-the-art diagnostic equipment, and the most recent hearing device technology, they're going to get you off the sidelines and back in the game. With over 85 years of experience from their location right off 565 in Brentwood, they're going to learn where you spend most of your time, find out where your work environment is, where you're having the most trouble hearing clear conversation, and they're going to give you a hearing solution to your needs. Give them a call today, 615-377-0420, or visit them online at BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. Let the mania be on the hardwood this March. 615-377-0420. That's Brentwood Hearing Center. Better hearing, better life.
To lead you in this corporate dance, and I'll be dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking rich.
Ramon, Kayla, and Will, RKW is brewed by 8th and Rose, 615-737-1045, the number. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling with you. Robert Walsh spinning the hits. We'll take a look at the camp number and the contractual details for Calvin Ridley. coming up in 15 minutes. But first, guys, a busy day yesterday at the SEC tournament where South Carolina, Texas A&M, Florida, and Mississippi State all advanced to quarterfinal Friday at Bridgestone Arena. 70-60, Mississippi State sets up a matchup with Tennessee at noon. Tennessee has a chance to get revenge against the last team and the only team in the SEC it has not beaten this year.
You called it, by the way, yesterday.
Yeah, you did. I was thinking LSU. I thought LSU had enough. Watching that Mississippi State game, it's essentially what you said. Their bigs will body, although they missed a ton of layups and just putbacks yesterday. But that didn't take away from how good they were yesterday as far as winning that game. Solid matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing what this one looked like. Get back. I hope it's not overly emotional for the guys to try to overprove something, but just do the job. You're a better team. Act like it today. And that stadium or arena is going to be rocking, I'm sure. Everybody I've run into, you going to the game? It's like, yeah, I'm going to the game. You going to the game? Like, it's going to be pretty lively in there. I got to make a decision on the kid today too.
You've got some stuff to figure out
Spring
here.
break is not in the beach school system yet, so they're still in school. So do I pull my youngest out? Will has always told me, yeah.
I mean, it's only once in a while you get to do that, you know?
Yeah, we're huge on grades, though.
And that's important, kids. If you're listening, you're on your way to school. That is first and foremost. First, can I just say, like, being able to see what they do here for the SEC tournament is just incredible. And I think, like, Nashville does a heck of a job. And I don't know, what it's like with Tampa when it was down there and some other places. Was it cool?
Yeah.
I just feel like when it's on Broadway, and Bridgestone is such a unique venue to be in smack dab the middle of all these bars, all these restaurants, all these hotels where people can just walk and flock. And it is spring break for some people who have brought their kids here. I mean, that's how big it is, and that's how big sports is down here in the South. And I reiterate that because we have listeners from all over the country now. And I just think it's so cool, like, to see a tournament like that on Wednesday and Thursday with your not even premier teams yet, and you're getting the type of atmosphere and those types of games early on. And now we're going to get the cream of the crop today. And I can't even imagine what it's going to be like today and tonight as these games progress. But yeah, Mississippi State, I'm excited to see this battle noon tip-off, right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. So Tennessee, like you said, it's not the end-all, be-all if they don't win the SEC tournament title. But I think that they're going to go and make a deep run into the weekend for sure.
Do they need to win the SEC tournament? Like,
No.
Where do you fall on? That's not what I meant. Like, where do you fall on? Would you rather them rest and not make Sunday or win the whole thing?
I need one win. I just need one. I need them to get Mississippi State. Whatever happens after that is bonus to me, essentially. Like, I love to be crowned champs here in Nashville and Sunday watch the game and just celebrate that one and buy another shirt. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not pressed for it. I know there's bigger goals, and I've understand how the history of this has worked for the teams, that you overexert yourself in the conference tournament, and maybe you're not overly ready for the actual NCAA tip-off. So I'm not overly pressed for it. Other than the fact we'll have to hear from some chirping fans, well, you guys lost it. It's like, okay, all right, whatever. Only thing that gets me with that type of conversation is the fan banter back and forth. That's it.
Yeah,
I don't care if they lose it or not. I'll be real with you.
I don't care. I feel like getting one win is important just to get to the weekend. I think getting to the weekend is important, first of all, just to give the fans that have traveled here a little bit of a, reason to be here more than just one day and get bounced. But when it comes to the SEC tournament title, I think it's bigger for teams that are kind of on the edge of the bubble, that are really trying to make a run or just trying to improve their resume and their seed even. But for a team like Tennessee that won the regular season title, that's the title you want to win. That's the work that goes in all season long. So for them to get an early exit this weekend, not the end of the world, because when it comes down to it, you do want to be healthy. You do want to be rested when it comes time for tournament play next week.
How much do you think Tennessee's favored by over Mississippi State?
Over State, 6.
Let's go with 8.
10.5. over Mississippi State today. South Carolina, Auburn. Auburn a 7.5-point favorite, with that one starting at 2:30 inside Bridgestone Arena. And then the afternoon session this evening should be great. Texas A&M, Kentucky. The Aggies beating Kentucky in College Station, just like they did Tennessee. And Florida, Alabama at 8:30 tonight. Mississippi State, the only team that seed-wise was lower seeded to advance yesterday. So it is all chalk other than Mississippi State, which sets up a great Friday.
It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'll try to get there early enough to where I can get to my seats and all that type of jazz. It's going to be busy.
And usually they give out the SEC championship trophy before the first team leaves the floor after warm-ups. So I would encourage Tennessee fans who are going to Bridgestone today to be there a little earlier than usual, because you'll see Tennessee receive their SEC championship trophy.
That's a nice little nugget right there. Well, I appreciate that.
Because the SEC championship is the regular season. This is the SEC Tournament Championship, which is a different trophy.
A different conversation.
615-737-1045. Contract details for Calvin Ridley next.
One thing that really makes Genesis Diamonds stand out from other jewelry stores is the education you get. These aren't clerks behind the counter. They're seasoned pros. They know everything they need to know about diamonds, okay? And they will take their time to teach you in a way that is transparent, informative, useful. They'll even teach you how to buy like a dealer buys, okay? They will show you the inside secrets of the diamond industry. They will show you how diamonds are priced and graded on the world market and how you can maximize your budget. They will also teach you all about lab-grown diamonds and how you need to be very, very careful with where and how you buy them. All this is done in a relaxed, no pressure, no expectation kind of atmosphere. They know most guys don't know much about diamonds like me, so they are committed to teaching you, not selling you. Then, when you are ready, Genesis will give you access to one of the largest selections of GIA-certified diamonds in America. Yes, I said the largest, and nobody has the kind of selection that they have. They will let you see 10, 15, 20 diamonds in your price range side by side so you can make an intelligent decision. I'm telling you, if you're diamond shopping, this is the place to go. It's a no-brainer. The education you want with the selection you need, the price you deserve with zero risk and zero pressure. Genesis Diamonds voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring 10 years in a row. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
7:01. What's going on? Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Titans didn't make any late night moves, but that does not mean there was not any action. The Chargers, in an effort to make more cap space, traded Keenan Allen to the Chicago Bears for a 4th-round pick. Last season, Keenan caught 108 balls for 1,243 yards and 7 touchdowns. The second offseason in a row, the Bears have acquired a Pro Bowl wide receiver ahead of the NFL draft. The Bears still hold the number 1 and number 9 picks in this year's draft. The wide receiver market has been moving slower, and that might have worked in the Chiefs' favor as they landed former first-round pick Hollywood Brown to a 1-year deal worth $11 million. The Chiefs had released MVS earlier in the offseason to save around $12 million. Now they replace him with someone younger for less money. And in the SEC tournament yesterday, Florida over Georgia. Ran Carthon will be happy about that. He joins the show at 8:20, 85-80. Texas A&M takes down Ole Miss 80-71. South Carolina beats Arkansas 80-66. And Mississippi State on to the next round over LSU 70-60. Who do they face in the next round? Number 4, Tennessee. That's the first game of the day. Tennessee and Mississippi State starts at noon from Bridgestone Arena. For all of your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Seven a.m. in Nashville, hour number 2 starts right now on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. RKW, we are brewed up by 8th and Rose. 615-737-1045, how you jump in. 1045 The Zone TV, how you tune in. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch.
Please.
That's where you can see Ramon Foster, who is asleep at the wheel. Kayla Anderson, Robert Walsh. I'm Will Bowling. We got Calvin Ridley contract details. We've got Vanderbilt making a change and firing Jerry Stackhouse. We'll get to that in hour number 2. And we will also, in 20 minutes, talk to our very good friend Brent Hubbs of VolQuest, as we do every Friday morning here on the show. It is a Friday SEC tournament, free agency, everything in between. And we're properly acting like it.
For all the workers.
Yeah. And we gon' party. Yeah, we are. Even in the rain.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
in the rain,
Just
baby.
be careful driving.
Even in the rain, we going to have a good time today. We got a fast Friday, Will. Who all we got coming up, man?
Brent Hubbs of VolQuest.com at 7:20. Titans general manager Ran Carthon
Let's
at
go.
8:20 this morning, and Grant Ramey at 9:20 on his way to Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah, no doubt. Can't wait to ask about some vision, man.
We did inquire with the representatives of Mike Wilson and Grant Ramey to see if they wanted to come in studio together in the 4th and final hour. They drive together a lot, road trip, carpool, things of that nature. And Mike told me he was already booked with a certain show that comes on after us.
Oh, the Lucas Panzica show?
If I see him
That's
in the ring, I'm throwing something at him. You tell him
You
that.
should.
Okay? I'm
You'll
throwing,
see him today.
Yeah, I'm throwing something at him, man. By the way, it's nothing better than a good roadie, man. Like, if they're road tripping together, carpooling, man, it's nothing better than a good roadie. Because when you got one, you know when to talk. You also know when to shut up, too. It's just like, we ain't even got to say nothing. Just turn the music up.
You also know when you can have a little shut-eye and they're not going to get mad.
Man, straight up. Although I hit them rumble strips every once in a while.
Are you awake?
You like, my bad.
Tennessee's a different breed about having roadies, though. I didn't know this was an open container state where as long as the driver's not driving, you can have a beer in the car. You cannot do that in North Carolina. That is a no-go. And when I got here, everybody was like, "Yeah, you can take one with you, man. Come on." I was like, "There's no way that I'm getting in that car if everybody's got one in their hand."
Is that technically legal?
I don't think
I did not know that.
Bert.
I don't know. People told me that, man. I've been drinking in the back seat of people's cars for years now. Ever since I've been here. Virginia and Tennessee is what I was told. God, don't catch me, man. I guess I'm hanging in the wrong crowd.
I mean,
Dang, Bert.
you need lawyer friends, man.
I am the lawyer.
That's true. Bert, ain't no way. Where's Cousin P at, man?
So you're telling somebody
gotta
lied
call
to
on
me?
that
Somebody
one.
check me then, because this is what I was
Oh my
told.
gosh.
At
I
least
gotta stop hanging out with Lucas Panziki, man.
Right?
Now we
Lucas is a-
snitching. Now we snitching.
Lucas taking a stray.
I've always been told no open containers in cars, but hey, if that's the rule, then hey, live by it.
Tennessee's going wild.
It is perfectly legal for any passenger in a car to consume alcohol.
Okay, he's right.
As
So the
long as the
internet tells me.
driver is not blowing over the legal limit, you can have an open container.
Dang.
So you can get a sip, a taste.
No, you can have the whole thing: a sip, a taste, a swallow, a drink, the whole thing. That's what I've been asking, man. When are your kids gonna get driving age? I need a sober DD.
Right?
Now that I know I can just roll around in the drink tank, come on, man.
You need RJ to get his license
Let's
quick.
go, RJ.
I wonder how many people though do that, and then if they get pulled over, they're like, "I just dropped my buddy off at that station right over there."
Open
Like
container.
that
there's
was
nobody
his.
in the car, then you're cooked.
So it don't matter.
Well,
what.
just
there
take
ain't no getting
the
around that.
just take the sobriety test. If that's the
Right?
case, yeah, I was
You
about to
can't
say.
have an open container just by yourself.
Yeah.
Just driving merrily along.
I got some crazy friends. Okay, they may just throw a can in there. I can prove I'm innocent. is
That's
what I'm
why I
telling you.
always keep a cutout of Buck Rising. So if anybody
Perfect.
asks me, it's his. It's this guy right here.
That's
Or you blame
fantastic.
it on the dog, old
That's
Red back
fair.
there.
Yeah.
He cracked one open.
He crack one open. I love to see that one. Yeah, he might get twisted off some natty lights.
Mark in the Burrows, 615-737-1045. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, I just want to hit on why we need Joe Alt instead of Brock Bowers or a wide receiver. Joe Alt is NFL ready, and he has an all-pro body type. And this dude, it's crazy. How is he taller than Peter Skoronski, and he ran a faster 40 time. And, this dude is a beast. So if we can anchor down our left tackle and Peter Skoronski as well as our left guard, we're set. And then they say you build in the draft, it makes sense. Joe Alt will be worth a lot of money later on and probably will be the franchise left tackle for whoever he's for. And he ain't going nowhere once he's anchored down on one team. So I feel like we need this guy, and if we need more receivers or tight ends later, we just get them in the free agency. What y'all think about that?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
I mean, Mark, that's what I've been sticking to my guns with. You take Alt if he's there. I mean, heck, I think you take Fashanu if he's there too. Fashanu. I had it right for so many times, and then I screw it up. But you're right, Mark. And I think they could go a different way if they really feel like their playmaker that they want to add is there, and they feel like that's the right pick. I don't put it past them to do that. Do I think they should go with the tackle because you can continue to build that line? And a young line at that, absolutely.
It does set you up. You bring up a good question. He is a tenth of a second faster than Peter Skoronski. Arms a little bit longer, and everything checks out for him. He's a big athlete as it pertains to Joe Alt. I like Joe Alt. Again, I'm just looking at the moves they've made and just saying to myself, I can see in a situation to where if they did go a different direction as far as not getting the tackle or moving back, or if the Chargers select a tackle, whoever may select before you, you have the ability to say, well, we got flexibility to move around. And I like the left side, potentially what it could be. But, of course, it comes down to what they do moving forward. There's still tackles out there that can be signed, and you just got to go that route.
Let's go to Bill in Lebanon on the phones, I think, here to give us some clarity on our open container conversation. What's up, Bill?
Hey guys, I was just calling. I'm a trooper here in the state, and I was on my way to work. I try to listen to you guys every day, and I was just going to let Bert know that he is exactly right. He's not hanging around the wrong crowd. He's good to go as long as he's not the driver. He can sit in the back of that car and drink all he wants.
Trooper Bill. All right.
Okay, so what if I got some crazy friends that just want to throw empty cans in the front seat? What happens then? I just got to take the sobriety test or what?
Well, so that's kind of what it would come down to, right? If I stop a car and 3 of the 4 people inside are drinking, the driver's not, I may want to get him out just to make sure before I cut them loose that he's good to go.
Okay.
I like that. That's
Use your
responsible.
friends wisely.
Have you ever so what if Bert's driving and everybody's riding with him? I got you now. You shouldn't have told me you was a trooper. One, thank you for your service, okay, and protecting this city and everything.
Absolutely.
But what if Bert got like soft ankles and he's not been drinking, right? And he just can't find his balance. Can you tell the difference?
Just from listening to Bert, I'm probably going to have to pull him out and take a look at him anyway, just to make sure,
Oh my God! Maybe he'll do his belly roll dance.
This is outstanding.
Bert, we got a rebuttal to this? What we got?
Man, I was about to say, next time I get pulled over and be like, I know Bill, man. I know Trooper Bill. Come on. Hook me up.
Yeah, throw it out there. But no, I wanted to tell you guys about that. I appreciate it. Love the show. And hey, go Vols today. Go Vols.
Thank you, Bill.
There we go.
Man, we got friends in high
That's
places.
awesome.
I thought I had a get out of jail free card, man.
That's great. He probably uses a name, alias too, because
He said mention them. I promise you.
I know for a fact we've got a couple of officers who call into the show. That is one of our diehard listener bases. Our police officers, literally, and state troopers who listen to us in this station. We appreciate your loyalty.
yes, we do.
Really appreciate
and your
you.
work in the community.
I'm terrible with that. As soon as I have somebody in the industry I've never been in, you know me.
Robert in my ear literally goes, "You
Yeah.
knew Ramon was going to follow
You
up."
knew
of
I was
course
going
he
to follow
was.
up. You know why?
You need to go on a ride along.
Because Trooper
Seriously.
Bill, hey, call back and let me know when I can
Yes.
roll around with you, man.
Please.
I'm so
But
serious.
Trooper Bill, you will never hear the end of it if he goes along with you in the ride along.
I got questions about that Smith County wild high speed chase last weekend. That's me. My stuff has been so public for so long with everything I've done in the NFL. Anytime somebody's around, first thing I'm gonna do. Hey, what you do?
Yeah.
I want to know what you do. You know what I did. Don't act like you don't know I played in the NFL.
See, my problem is I have all these ideas, right? I know we got to get a break. I'll make it quick. I have all these ideas, and I wanted to do like a podcast video type that's like Robbie's Hobbies, where I try things for the first time and see if I like them or not. But now I think that would be way better suited for Ramon Foster. But I don't know how you make Ramon's Hobbies.
No, Rob, we can do that together.
Okay, cool. I'm down with that. I'm down to do the new Robin Big. We can be the new Robin
you
Big.
go.
Hey,
I'm down.
There you go.
don't you dare tempt me with a good time. Hey,
As long as we get RJ to drive, man, we can drink on the way.
not yet. Trooper Bill, we can drink in the back of your trooper car. Okay?
There we go.
Oh, my
You get an
gosh.
escort going.
A ride along.
Escort.
Coming up next.
Oh, gosh.
Tennessee basketball taking the hardwood today for their debut in the SEC tournament, and Tennessee spring football practice starts on Monday. We get the latest with Brent Hubbs of VolQuest coming up next. RKW, Ramon, Kayla, and Will is brewed by 8th the Roast on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling on a loaded show. We've got Brent Hubbs of VolQuest with us, as we do every Friday morning at 7:20. What's up, Brent? How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you guys are doing good this morning.
We might be doing a little too good because Ramon just learned that as a passenger in a car, you can have an open container. And then we had a state trooper call in and confirm that. So now Ramon's making some wild plans after the Vols play this Friday afternoon.
Oh no! I've got so many ways I could go with that. I'm just gonna plow ahead, get my focus back, and we'll let it go. Right, Ramon?
No, absolutely not, Hubs. Hey, let me say this is low, but it's loud for everybody because we're on the radio, okay? Any good football team got some mischief going on, okay? So, where's the lie at, okay? I'm waiting for you to tell me, Ramon. No, you guys were saints here, okay? I'm waiting for you to lie and say that. That's not true.
What's the old line that an AD said? I guess maybe it's Doug Dickey at one point years ago. Said, sometimes you got to get your pass rushers out of jail on a Friday night. Sometimes mischief happens here and there along the way. So, but no, Ramon and Ripley, come on now. Ramon, they gave a parade. They threw flowers at him when he went out. I mean, he was a saint. I mean, and he was a star. He couldn't do anything wrong.
Then that's why I hung around Rob Ayers. Okay, there we go.
If they make the state if they make the state basketball championships tomorrow after they play Alcoa today, they're gonna have Ramon bring the key to the city.
Yes, they
to
are.
come.
I'm gonna mention your
bring
name
it in person.
Should. It's still heavy there. Hubs, I was hoping to see you last weekend. Didn't run across you. You was probably somewhere doing something great. Okay, Will and I was at the arena, and you were nowhere to be found. But we've had a few Vols, personalities come on. And everybody said, well, they never want to follow up behind you, man, because you're so great. I just want you to.
Oh, listen at you. Come on now. listen. I mean, that's the best you got. You've been prepping all week, and that's what you come up with.
Come on, Hubs. That was good.
No, it wasn't.
Well, we have doubled up today, Brent, because we do have a certain Grant R. from Blount County who's going to join us at 9:20 this morning.
Yeah, I mean, Grant's in Nashville. It's kind of like that scene out of his favorite show, the Andy Griffith Show, when Barney went to Raleigh and stayed at the Y, and had a big time there. So hopefully Grant didn't. Hopefully he didn't stay out too late last night, and he's handled himself okay in the big city. That's what we're hoping for, anyway.
Absolutely.
He said had a big time. Hubs, you continue to show your East Tennessee style, baby.
That's exactly right. I am who I am, Ramon, and I will be who I will be.
Please never switch up.
That's right. Brent Hubbs of VolQuest on 3, our guest. Brent, today, Tennessee, Mississippi State. Is this the best case scenario to start an SEC tournament for Tennessee? A, they get a chance to say they beat every team in the conference this year if they get a win today. But B, it does feel like they are playing the kind of team today that will give them the most trouble in the NCAA tournament with some big physical big men, starting with Tolu Smith.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it that way. If you're looking to advance, you probably would. I mean, I think Tennessee should still win the game today, but the easier matchup for Tennessee would have been LSU. But, I mean, I think to get Jonas Adu where you need him to be for the next, 3-4 weekends, however long you're going to get to play here, he needs to answer the call today, and he needs to answer it against Tolu Smith, who shoved him around. And really, I mean, Smith got Adu and Awaka both fouled out of the game to start SEC play a couple of months ago. So from that standpoint, yeah, it's probably a good thing. I always think the first game of the tournament's hard. I think Mississippi State will start faster today than Tennessee because they're used to the rims, they're used to the court, they've got a game under their belt. I think that first game is always the most challenging to get settled into. And so I'll be really curious to see how Tennessee settles into this game and gets going because Mississippi State's they're lathered up, if you will, and Tennessee's not played basketball in almost a week.
Brent, where do you think Tennessee falls on the rest versus tournament championship run conversation? Because you talk to some fans and I'd love a 1 seed, but I'd rather the team be rested for next weekend. And then, I mean, we're not too far removed from Tennessee going decades without winning an SEC tournament championship and coveting that trophy. Where do you fall in that discussion?
I think probably, when you look at the big tournament, a 1 seed probably, is a bigger deal because it probably puts you in a bracket out west, and you may like that bracket a little better than if you get somewhere else. So maybe you're playing for the 1 seed. I think there are a lot of coaches, they won't say it publicly like John Calipari said it, but there are a lot of coaches when you're a really good team and you are, probably don't have a chance to do a whole lot seeding wise, that view this tournament as just, okay, we just want to get healthy, and we want to get some rhythm back because we haven't played in a week, and then whatever happens. I'm not saying they don't care, but I don't think for a lot of coaches that this tournament carries the weight that it does for some fans. It's good theater for fans. It's a great tournament. I think it'll be competitive. But I think John Calipari, when he says, hey, my focus is not on the SEC tournament, it's on the NCAA tournament, I think there's a lot of people that feel that way, a lot of coaches that feel that way. They just won't say it publicly.
That's how I somewhat felt as far as, okay, yeah, I don't want to hear some loud fan base, we want an SEC tournament. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's okay to me, and I love the fan banter. But, yeah, I'd much rather get ready for the NCAA tournament, man. With the NCAA tournament, with that being said, Hubs, when it comes down to seeding, does it matter much at all that the Vols may end up being a 2 seed?
Well, I don't understand all this, this real time, such and such team led at the under 4-minute timeout, so now they're a 3 seed or now they're a 1 seed. Like, we're doing too many updates on seeding things. You know what I mean? Like, so Tennessee was a 1 yesterday morning. Now they're a 2 this morning, according to bracketologists, because North Carolina got to play a game last night. I mean, like, come on. I mean, let's just – enough is enough already. I mean, I get it's good theater and it's good for, I guess, conversation and clicks and all those things. But, I mean, we're almost down to, minute-by-minute deal. I get it with bubble teams. But if you're in the tournament, I don't know how much we need to do all the jockeying that we're doing right now just to get people to talk and to create, conversations the way that they are. To answer your question, Ramon, I think it's about what the rest of the bracket looks like. But here's the thing, too. I mean, if you're going to get to a Final Four, which is obviously what Tennessee's trying to do for the first time in school history, I got a news flash for everybody. You're probably going to play a really good team in a regional final, unless your bracket just goes wide open. And that's part of Tennessee fans' frustration, right? They had the year where Loyola Chicago makes a run because Tennessee couldn't beat them, and that bracket just busted wide open. Last year you felt like you had a chance because you're playing Florida Atlantic, and that bracket opened up after you knocked off Duke. And they've had a couple of years where the bracket seems to have been a really good draw for Tennessee, and for whatever reason they couldn't get there. But the reality is, if the bracket holds somewhat true in your region, whoever you're playing is going to be good, right? I mean, you're probably not playing a 12 seed, and if you are, you're playing a 12 seed that's on a heater who's playing really well. So I think it's a bit overblown in some cases, Ramon, unless it just means you avoid somebody who's a clear-cut top seed of the tournament. And is there really that? I mean, I guess UConn is perceived to be the overall number 1 seed by some people. Other people have Purdue. Some people say Houston's not getting enough love out there. So I don't know that it's the end-all, be-all, whether you're a 1 or a 2 at this point. Because Tennessee's either going to be the last number 1 or the first number 2 is where they're going to be in this tournament, in the NCAA tournament.
No doubt about it. And Huz, before we go too far down the basketball path, on the football side, spring practice is starting up real soon next week, if I'm not mistaken. Who are you looking forward to see take a big step to gain some confidence from the coaches in this spring practice, besides Nico?
Yeah, well, I mean, it starts on Monday. I think to me, I'm looking in the secondary because you're replacing 5 starters out there. Who are the guys that this defensive staff says at the end of the day, at the end of spring ball, go, man, that guy can help us. Whether he's a starter or he's not a starter, he's going to factor in and can be a help. I think they've got to find a backup center to Cooper Mays, who exudes some confidence to this coaching staff that they can play center. Where's your depth on your offensive line? I said this, I think, on our podcast earlier this week. For me, spring practice is not about a guy winning a job, but it's about what guys come out of spring practice where a coach says he's above the help line, meaning he's going to factor in. If we had to play him, or he can win a starting job, or if there's an injury, we're okay with this guy, versus who's below that line and is not ready, right? Maybe he's still a year away or hasn't proven that they can go out and help us. That's what, to me, spring practice is evolving into, because I don't think you find your left guard in 15 workouts in the spring. I don't think you come out of this and go, okay, here's our 5 secondary guys. We're set back there. I don't think that's realistic. But is there 10 guys in the secondary you feel good about? Is there 8? Is there 5? Is there whatever that number is? That's what you're trying to find out this spring. At least I am.
Brent Hubbs of VolQuest joining us Friday, as he does every Friday around this time. When it comes to the quarterback, Nico Iamaleava, what is this spring like for him now that this is going to be his football team moving forward?
Well, I think it's you better have a different focus. That's not to say you weren't focused last year, but a year ago you were trying to learn the offense. Excuse me, Kayla. And you knew that there was a starter in front of you. Now it's your show, and they're going to basically tailor the offense around what you like. They'll do some different things that maybe they didn't do a year ago because it wasn't what Joe was most comfortable with, but Nico's more comfortable with that. You got to figure out what that is, and that means Nico's got to show up with the right mindset, the right focus every day, and he's got to develop some leadership skills out of this spring. It's not to say he's a bad leader, but you don't lead as the backup quarterback. Okay, you just don't. I mean, he did a really nice job learning behind Joe last year and just kind of going to work every day to work on some physical, individual development with footwork and things like that. Now you're in conversations every day, and instead of being the guy in the position room that you're taking notes, you're the guy in the position group having conversations with the offensive coordinator and head coach about, I like this, I like that. I like him in this route. I like us doing it this way. That's the conversations that you're having now, which is very different than he's been a part of to this point. I think he's had a good start to the offseason in terms of leadership and getting those young receivers and throwing with those guys at different times and commanding things. That's just got to continue to grow this spring for him.
On the recruiting side, I should say, a little bit slower this week with spring break wrapping up, but you had mentioned things picking up after that. What can we expect in terms of some recruiting news this next week?
Hey, Ramon, you want to tell these spring break stories when you were a player at Tennessee?
Any spring break story? Mine was stressing about getting back to spring ball, Hubs, like that. Oh, I hated that.
Stressing about getting back and making a weight when you got
Exactly, man. And that first practice been tired as a dog.
When you look at it, it has been a quiet week because everybody's out of town. And then, have George McIntyre in this weekend along with Jamie French, the 5-star wide receiver. And both of those guys are going to have big visits this weekend for Tennessee, unofficial visits, which are going to be things. And then it's going to really ramp up. You've got Florida defensive lineman Jarquez Carter, who's scheduled to be here, and that's a guy that Rodney Garner really likes. And then you're going to see guys in basically every day from now through the rest of the month, starting on Sunday with McIntyre and Jamie French. And French and McIntyre have hit it off really well, which I think is a good thing. And the one beautiful thing about George is that he's close, which means he's going to log a lot of miles between Nashville and Knoxville, but he's close to come in and help recruit when guys come in on unofficial visits, as will be the case with Jamie French. We'll get here on Sunday, stay overnight, go to practice on Monday, and then go from there.
Brent Hubbs of VolQuest on 3, our guest this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Brent, in the War Room on VolQuest, you mentioned some guys with injuries, and Brew McCoy being one of them who will miss all of spring drills. How has he recovered from his injury late last season?
He's doing well. I mean, he's running. He's been running in the aquasizer, and he's on hard surfaces doing some stuff. They're just not going to push anything there or really, there's no expectation or thought for him to do anything right now. It's just to continue to build from him, but he has recovered really well from the surgery. He's been with a rehab specialist out in California. That's where he was throughout the winter break and really until the end of January when he came back to town. He's actually gone back out there and seen that guy a couple of different times, and they have a plan with the university and the rehab people at the University of Tennessee working directly with the doctor in California. It's gone well. It's gone better than anybody could have expected at this point. They're just want to make sure he doesn't have any setbacks and continue to build his strength. So there's a lot of encouragement about where he's at in the recovery process, because I don't think anybody thought he would be this far along in March. Now, he wasn't going to be far enough along to work out for anybody and prepare himself for the draft, and that's the main reason why he came back to Tennessee. But he is further along than anybody thought it would be right now.
As it stands right now, SEC play will kick off this weekend, barring rainouts and stuff like that. For the baseballs, when it comes down to them, man, what challenges does that team have getting to SEC play? Because it's not an easy task, and football, basketball, and baseball is in the same conversation.
Well, it's in baseball, it's such a marathon and not a sprint. I mean, it's just such a grind that, nobody's going unbeaten. Tennessee's won, 16 in a row or 15 in a row right now, and they haven't played the toughest schedule in the world. So you're going to get indoctrinated to it this weekend with SEC play. The intensity is going to be different. The pitching is going to be better. The guy's fastball is going to move more than the guys you've seen the last 3 weeks. And you're going to have to throw it well. I think for this baseball team, the question remains, who's going to be the Sunday starter? When do they get A.J. Russell back, who's been dealing with some soreness, and they've shut him down? I think he's going to throw a little bit this weekend. He's going to be a weekend starter when he gets back to 100%. They build him back up. I think he'll get an inning or two this weekend, whether that's Sunday or whenever they decide to put him out there. But I think the question is a little bit, who's going to be that third starter? I think they've got guys, but who emerges as that guy? Because right now they're the to be determined on Sunday in their rotation. And then what does this, bullpen look like as it continues to develop and grow, to long relief, middle relief, short relief, closer, that type of thing. Those guys are still learning their roles and still settling in there. I think they can hit the baseball. I think that's been proven. And they've been better in the field than I expected them to be. They've made a nice jump from a year ago to this year in terms of their fielding percentage and the way they're fielding the baseball and playing defense behind pitchers. So I think that's a real encouragement for this baseball team heading into league play.
He is VolQuest Brent Hubbs, joining us every Friday morning here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will at 7:20. Brent, thank you as always. We appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys. Have
Thanks,
a great
Brent.
day.
Yes, sir. There he is, Brent Hubbs. And coming up, we'll shift the conversation in the SEC here to Vanderbilt, who let's go at Jerry Stackhouse yesterday. We've got a couple of names of who they might be targeting as they begin their search for a new men's